I used to play that pinball game. Let's go. Uzi Vert. Ooh, you better move. That was before I had internet. Ooh, you better move. 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 Louis my shoes. Pull out my whip on 22s. I saw your girl. I had to scoop. Just like a bird. She gonna swoop. Neck is hot too. Might catch the flu. Banana clip. Straight from the zoo. I'm like, mother goose. If I say shoot, they gonna shoot. No, I'm not sweet. I just got flavor. Don't need no water to mix up this juice. They say why your chain it look like a choker. That's for the slaves that had to wear the noose. No, you can't cuff me, baby, let me loose. The way that I live, baby, that's a rule. Matching closet, it came with a pool. Bro moving 8 bars, not no pool. If you ask.
Welcome aboard, everybody. Robbie, Lastella, Christian Proscia here on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. It's Monday night, and we're starting the week off hot with a guest. We are going to be joined here in just a second by FAU linebacker Des Tisdol. Steven, if you want to pull him up. There he is. Des, how's it going?
Going good. How y'all?
Doing good, man. Thanks for hopping on with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So, Des, off season, we're in a bit of a pause at the moment. Spring game is past us. We're in the summer period right before the summer ball starts. How was spring ball for you, and what have you kind of been up to in your off time a little bit?
Well, spring ball just learning from like the previous things I did in the past, trying to be better for this team. Be a better leader, and trying to focus on the small details to be a better linebacker than I was before.
There you go. That's the spring ball mentality. Just keep working on everything you've got. Second year in the Tisdol era here at FAU, also the Herman era. How has it been for you, kind of, to grow alongside the program over the past year or so?
Well, I never had that opportunity to be like a leader when I was at my old school. I followed the rest of the leaders in the linebacker room and just learning football from them and learning what they did off the field to be a better player. I'm trying to take that here to FAU and going into the second year. Last year, kind of still a freshman, first time ever like actually playing a lot. I played a lot last year, so just helping these young guys, like, because I was in their shoes before, so I know what it feels like to first get into college.
Not only did you play a lot, you racked up some stats too. 70 tackles on the year, couple sacks, 5.5 tackles for loss. Was balling all over the field. But you mentioned being a leader for the first time, and obviously with the portal era, and you're gonna be having new guys coming in every off season. How has it been with the new group coming in, and have you been able to kind of take a leadership role with the new guys on the defense?
Yeah, just I know a few of them. I know Wilkie came. He's from Auburn. Devontae's from Jackson State. Like, just talking to those guys, we all been there before. We want to win, so they know like the detail. They know like the key to victory. Like, we want to win, so it's not hard leading them guys, especially guys that know all about winning.
And with working with them and the rest of the team over the past couple of weeks, has there been anything that stood out to you now? Because it's been your fourth off season as a college football player,
Um,
fifth.
I feel like I'm way more confident than I ever been. Like, this is the confident I ever been, thanks to like Coach Joey, because like he kind of brought that out of me. When I was at Auburn, I ain't had that much confidence. Like, I don't know why. I just never have it. So when I got here, I kind of had to gain it fast, and now I got it. Like, it's kind of hard to stop.
You're here on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network with FAU linebacker Des Tisdol. I'm going to kick it over to Christian here, and he's gonna get into kind of how that confidence developed back in Georgia, where you're a two-sport star back in the day. Christian.
Yeah, Des, we're gonna kick it back to the high school glory days where you dominated on both sides of the ball as a linebacker and a running back. Can you talk about how playing running back has helped you really learn to read an offense as a linebacker, how to anticipate running backs and run plays?
Well, when I played running back in high school, it was either you're gonna follow the hole or you're gonna make plays on your own. That's the way I kind of ran the ball. So being a linebacker and seeing running backs nowadays, either he gonna make this cut or he gonna try to run me over. Like it's just there. Like either one he gonna pick. But I try to make a fast move on him because that's what like people used to do to me. And if he big, it's a way to hit him. If he big, if he small, it's a way to hit him small. So I know about all that.
While you were in high school, you're a pretty highly touted recruit, being rated as a 4-star by all three major networks, and then you committed to Auburn. What set the Tigers apart from all of the other suitors that you had during your recruiting process?
Now Auburn felt like family. Like the first time I ever took a visit, like me, my mom, my dad, we took a visit there, and I knew then like I wanted to be at Auburn. So like they treat you like family. I mean, man, it's just something about that place, Jordan Hare. Like it always be a special place to me. Like no matter what goes on or how I feel or what happened, like it always be special to me.
Yeah, Jordan Hare is a pretty special facility. However, there's one place on Auburn's campus that does stand above the rest. I think you know what I'm talking about. Numerous can you give a little shout out to the best lemonade in the South?
Oh yeah, Tumas. Yeah. Big shout out, man. Big shout out to them,
I remember when Auburn was recruiting me for swim, I went out there and same thing with my family and best lemonade I've ever had. I don't even really drink lemonade.
man.
Best lemonade.
No doubt, no doubt.
So while you're at Auburn, what was because you were there for a while. Obviously, you grew up, you matured both as a football player, but also as a man. What do you believe was the biggest thing that you learned about yourself while at Auburn?
I can say that I was very, very immature at Auburn. Like not in a bad way, just like on the field. Like I wasn't mature enough to actually be that guy to actually take a role on that defense. I mean, when I got the opportunity, I did what I needed to do, but I just was a little immature. And just learning from those guys that was in front of me, like I just seen the way that they went out and went about their business, and I'm taking it over here to FAU, and everything is going good right now.
Yeah, following the 2022 season, you hopped in the portal, and shortly after, you committed and signed to go to the best school in the country, FAU. What stood out about FAU? What was Coach Herman's sales pitch to you to bring you into Paradise?
He was telling me that he wanted me here. He liked everything about me, and that I'm gonna have to work for what I want. And that's the kind of guy that I want to play for. Like you work for what you want, he'll give you the opportunity. Him and Coach Rock.
I was just about to say, Coach Rock was on the staff at Auburn when you were there, and then shortly, like right before you committed to us, he signed with us to be our DC. How did he play a process in the portal for you?
Man, Coach Rock was my favorite at Auburn. He was the edge linebackers coach, and he was the special team coordinator as well. And he put me all over the field, on special teams. When I got the opportunity to play that. So he ended up leaving, and then once I entered the portal, I mean, I had a lot of phone calls one day. I mean, it got real aggravating. Then Coach Rock texted shot me a text, and he was like, I'm here at FAU, and I want you to come visit. And, like I told my mom, like within the next hour, like I'm going to FAU. Like that's why I want to play football, like with Coach Rock, because I know Coach Rock and I know what type of person he is. So like that's what I wanted to be up under him.
For all of our casual viewers who unfortunately don't have the privilege of being a college athlete in today's day and age, what is the transfer portal process like?
Is a very dark place. Like you don't know like what's next. I mean, if you don't have an option like before you even enter the portal, I mean, it's really no need to enter in it because it's thousands of people in the portal looking for a home, and some people don't find no home. So like that's the bad thing about it. So it's a real scary place if you ain't got no place to go.
What would you say to like a young guy that hits the portal who doesn't really have a lot of film and doesn't, unlike you, doesn't have like an established coach in the portal? Like, would you advise them to hit the portal and just really rely on their high school film and restart their whole recruitment, or just kind of wait it out?
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you got to make the best decision for you. But as a young guy, it's gonna be even harder for the young guy to like get in school because now the transfer portal is really like free agency. Like the coaches can pick people that like more advanced, Like got a lot of film on the field, even if they didn't play as much like at the other college, but they still got a lot of college film. Like this is not high school. Like this is a real like deal sport.
And then yeah, like you said, if you don't know where you're going before you even enter your name, because we all know how social media works. Everybody connects with everybody. I see it in the high school realm. Same thing. All these dudes that grow up to go, yo, we should senior season. We should play one last time. And then next week, I'm getting a text about making a graphic for somebody.
Yeah.
Um, just how has that really affected college football, college sports as a whole, in your opinion?
Honestly, I really think it messed it up. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the transfer portal and like all the COVID kids, like you still got extra years, so that really messed it up. Like I was talking about the experience, everybody has it. You can put somebody that was like, take for instance, like me at Auburn for 3 years and just come here. Like I already had the experience, so I know like what to do and what not to do on the field. So I mean, it really helped the coaches, but it is really bad for the rest of the players. It's not fair, honestly.
And then you got dudes who graduated the same high school class as Justin Fields, who are pretty much like in their eighth, ninth year of college football, total unk status, still hanging around. But now that you're at FAU, you like you said, you exploded onto the scene. Robbie already read off the stats. We don't need to do that again. Don't want to inflate the ego too much. But what do you believe was the step that truly elevated your game?
Um, I had to grow up fast. Like I had to grow up real fast because it was a time for me to like take that next step into like being a real football player and like making the calls on defense. Helping the D line. Just learning what the back end do. Like I had to learn real fast because truthfully I didn't know. Like I really didn't know. I'm just out there playing.
We saw another former Auburn player and Coach Rock recruit. You brought him up earlier, Wilkie Denaud, committed to FAU recently. What does he bring to this defense? And what is it about Coach Rock or our scheme that makes players want to continue to play for him, regardless of where he goes?
Bookie is a very hard worker. I mean, he's young, but he's a very hard worker. Big kid. He no knucklehead. He don't get in no trouble, man. And the scheme that Coach Rock, he's gonna tell everybody like, come in and try to take a spot. Like, no matter you a freshman, walk on, like, come take a spot. Like, come show me what you got, and I'll give you the opportunity. And that's why, like, I love Coach Rock. Like, I always love Coach Rock.
So something about Coach Rock is he doesn't play favorites. He doesn't play politics. It's
Uh,
literally just
is
he's fielding the 11 best players at all times.
he got this saying like every day is a tryout. So, and he mean that when he say that every day is a tryout, and I like that about him.
Des, something that I've noticed about you, and this is something I really admire about you, is regardless of the score, we could be winning, we could be losing, we could be blowing somebody out or getting blown out. You are always smiling on the field. You're always energetic. You're always smiling. You're smiling right now. Your smile is infectious. That's something about you. Can you talk about the love for this game that you have and how you carry it into every snap?
Oh man, this game! I do anything for this game. I love the game so much. It did so much for me. Like it got me out of Georgia. Got me into college. Got me in the All American game. You just gotta have that energy. Gotta have because it can't be taken away from you at any point in time. So you have to be that energetic. You have to smile. Have to have a smile on your face. I don't see why people wanna like act like they so mean. Like, bro, you love this game. Like, smile, laugh. I don't get that.
Yeah, because like you said, at the end of the day, it's still the game that we grew up with as kids. It's the one where looking back on our elementary school days, playing pickup at recess or
At
playing top
recess,
corner.
yeah.
But taking a look at the schedule, there's an opportunity to show who this team is and come out against a P4 school right away and come and play Michigan State at Michigan State as 11-point underdogs. Any thoughts on that on that spread? And is the team going to shock college football week one?
We really not worried about the spread, like underdogs, or even if they say we was winning, like we don't care about that. We just want to go out there and show what we can be this season, and I think everybody's bought into that. Like we're not saying what the media say. I could care less about that.
What are your thoughts on the defense as a whole currently? And on the outside, it seems like there's a ton of talent coming in and a ton of talent remaining. Is there a feeling that this unit really has a chance to be the focal point of this team and do something special?
Yes, of course. We got a lot of older guys, a lot of guys that actually know the game. So like, just having a veteran group like that's step number one, and then having the vets like know what they're doing, like helping everybody around communicating. Like that's what we focused on right now, and it's there. We just want to get it even better.
Something that Coach Rock has been very vocal about throughout all of spring and into this summer is the experience of of this linebacker room and what you guys bring to this team. Can you just talk about as a whole just your projections of like how is the line, because the linebacker is the quarterback of the defense.
Yeah.
So you as a veteran fifth year, how are you going to be QB1 in a sense?
Um, I mean, really wouldn't say like because the will really not the QB, say the mic. So I'm gonna start with Ambush. Like Ambush, like a very leader, like on off the field. Like he's loud. He's gonna communicate. He's gonna tell you when you're wrong, when you're right. Like that's what I love about Ambush. And then you got Gerald's. He's the Mike linebacker. Then you got Eddie. Like everybody vets. Like we all together. I don't think nobody can break that apart. Nobody.
And then something that's really stood about this 25 class is something that really stands about the 25 recruiting class is our defensive team is really starting to recruit linebackers because of the shoes that you guys are going to left to be filled. Can you talk about um, this incoming 24 class, but also our 25 recruits so far?
I mean the linebacker room. We got Javari's coming in. We got Quez. He was here in the spring. Like, and we tell them every day, like, bro, like we not gonna be here next year. Like we going after this, and we trying to like get them to be locked in like we are. I mean, it's gonna take time, but those kids, they special. They special kids, so they'll pick up real fast. Up on the Coach Rock anyway. He gonna make sure they right. I know he is.
What would you say is your personal and team, excuse me, goals and expectations heading into this year?
My personal. Honestly, not don't do too much. Be the same guy you were last year, but even better. Like be a better linebacker. Like get better from last year. That's my personal goal. And win. We want to win. Do anything to help this team win. That's my mindset.
I love it. And this is a special year for college athletes. For the first time in 10 years, we finally have an NCAA video game.
Yeah.
Senior year, it's your last year. What do you think your overall will be at launch? Yep.
um. Honestly, I'm a very humble guy. Very humble guy. So I feel like my overall should at least be in the 80 range. Like that. I mean, that's fair enough to me. Like I'm a humble guy. Like I said, I feel like I deserve an 80. That's just me talking. But I'll take whatever though, because we ain't had this game in so long. I'm gonna make it a 99 anyway. I'm gonna edit it. So
What attribute do you believe is going to be your highest rating, and what one do you think EA is going to kind of screw you a little with?
my highest would be let's see. I mean, probably like my tackling will be my highest. That'll be my highest on there. And something they're gonna screw me in. Probably gonna say I don't got no hands, so it might make me drop every interception I try to catch on that. I think they're gonna screw me on that.
So if you apparently don't have hands according to EA, should you be my user linebacker or should I go with a guy like Ambush or Eddie?
No, man, keep me, man. I told you, just edit it, or just keep me on that. Keep me on that. I'm not saying Eddie can't catch because he can. I'm just saying I feel like I got the best hands in the room, man. No offense to the other linebacker, I got the best hands in the room,
So which of which of your teammates, if not you, would you do you believe will end up having the highest overall on the team?
man. Honestly, what we talking about? Do you talk about defense or offense? Yeah, give me.
Just just as a whole, like who do you believe is going to be FAU's highest rated player in NCAA 25?
I'm gonna have to go with Jackson Ambush. I'm gonna have to go with Jackson Ambush. I mean, he was leading tackle on the team, so I'm gonna have to go with Jackson Ambush.
And so obviously there's over 130 teams in this game. You're not going to use FAU every time. What team are you most excited to play as outside of the Owls?
Nah, honestly though, I'm not using no other team. I mean, no matter how much I get beat, I'm playing with FAU till the wheels fall off. But if I had to pick a team though, I had to go with my boys, man. My old school, I play with Auburn, man. But other than that, I'm not playing with nobody else. I love FAU.
I agree. I'm only running FAU, and I just want to let all the viewers know that in all of my franchises, Des Tisdol will be the butt kiss winner. So
That's right.
stay tuned. Stay tuned for that because myself and Robbie, as well as Toby and Drew, are spitballing some NCAA 25 content
Okay.
in the near future. But yeah, me personally, one of the schools that I'm the most excited to use, and this is gonna sound crazy, is BYU because like I don't know if anybody's ever actually seen BYU's campus. The backdrop from the football stadium is in the mountains of Provo, Utah, and it's just an absolutely beautiful. It's just a beautiful skyline, and they have great unis and a solid team. So I want to run BYU personally.
I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I ain't hear you say no player. I just heard you say the background and the field. I thought you were talking about the player.
Listen, they're just a bunch of Mormons. I don't know who. It's all just a bunch of Mormons out there. I don't know, but if they have a legacy team, I mean, I can. They had a running back that was in the league for a while, Jamal Williams,
Yeah. Okay.
um,
Yeah. That's right.
Tyler Algier, and Zach Wilson. And that would be a solid team because that year that Zach Wilson should have been a Heisman finalist, where it was like him, Tyler Algier, Dax Maline. I think that's a solid team, underrated. But Robbie, if you had to run a non FAU squad, who would it be?
Oh, my squad, my man, it's Old Dominion. That's the squad I ran with as a kid. That's just like the random team. I don't even know. I don't even think there might be some quarterback in the NFL from Old Dominion, but I don't know. I don't think there's any crazy players or anything. But I'm running it. If it's not FAU, it's Old Dominion. I don't even know the mascot name. Honestly, I forgot. But that's what I'm running with.
Robbie's gonna be the type of dude that you're gonna play online, and he's gonna be running the Army triple option playbook the entire game.
That's all I'm running. That's all I'm
Oh
running.
hell no!
All I'm
Yeah.
running.
So, Des, if you and me are playing, how much am I beating you by on a consistent basis?
Nah.
You're beating me?
I take that game serious, man. I don't think you'll beat me. I don't think you'll beat me.
So if we hopped online, then how bad are you allegedly beating me, which is complete cap, but
I feel like every game I probably end up winning like 10, 14 plus. That's just because it's just a new game out. Gonna be a lot of glitches out. So I know.
I don't know. I don't know if you're beating me by 2 touchdowns. I'll give you at least a last second field goal because you'll be cheesy and run chew clock to kill the entire fourth quarter.
Nah, that's boring. I'm not gonna shoot clock. I just like I know my mindset, and it's the same way when I play. Like on the field, I play just the same way on the game. Like I'm trying to dominate. So yeah.
Yeah, something that's definitely a disadvantage for normal people is just playing the game against former or current football players because there is such a skill difference.
It's not even fair. It's not even fair.
Like my best friend is a former football player, and same thing. I think I'm throwing something over the middle. It's not even contested. All of a sudden, he's got a safety coming from over top.
Pick
He's
it.
taking that to the crib in stride.
Hey Des, we talked about this a little bit before we hopped on here, but just to let the fans know out there, so you would say a majority of you and your teammates have opted into the game?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
The Owls will be on there. That's good to know. That's good to know.
But Robbie, I know you had a couple more questions. You were kind of bugging me, texting me a little bit, so I wanted to kick it back over to you while we still have 5 more minutes before the bottom of the hour.
Yeah, I got one of them in there. Something else I wanted to touch on. From the fans' perspective, a rivalry that's brewing is with USF, and I wanted to get your perspective on that from you and the rest of the teammates. Is there any kind of rivalry when y'all play USF, or is it just same business against everybody?
Nah, we just have the same mindset against everybody. We're not worried about no robbery, honestly. We let the media do that. We not with that.
All right. So if you want the media to do it, horns down. I got you.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
get
for
trending
sure.
on Twitter
I'm
tonight,
always
gentlemen.
throw it down. Yeah, I'm always throw it down.
So with FIU and USF on the schedule, though, I'm sure I'm sure that's like two opportunities for a lot of people on a team to kind of get. It's a mindset kind of thing. I feel like do those games get y'all up at all, or is it really nah?
Nah, man, our coaches just preach to us, man. Treat everybody the same. So we don't even look at it like that. Honestly, we just treat everybody the same.
especially especially because those in-state games. Sorry, I'm still drinking a milkshake right now. But those in-state games, they do have a lot of bragging rights for in-state dominance, especially because they're both coming to us and they're both going to try to get in our heads and kick up the midfield logo as they're walking on the field and stuff.
100%,
So
100%. Already.
especially because last time we played FIU, we went into their spot. We beat the hell out of them in the Shula Bowl. Now it's coming back to us. We got to prove some dominance in this state.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. You're right about that.
I don't know. The last thing I wanted to touch on with you, Des, before we let you get back to beating up on somebody in Madden. Um, Obviously NIL has kind of changed over the last couple of years, and we've heard recently from both Coach Herman and Brian White that NIL at FAU is trending positively rather than negatively. From a player's perspective, has the NIL opportunities been good, or do you think there's more to more? There could be more done.
Nah, it's been great. Like I'm not complaining. It's been great. I love it.
You heard it here. Booming in paradise. NIL situation is doing good, which is always good to hear because gotta keep it up if you want to stay up in today's college world. So, Des, thank you so much for hopping on with us, talking about everything from high school to NCAA games to NIL to the season. It's been awesome. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. We're going to take a quick break here on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. When we come back, Christian and I got to talk about some NBA. It's been like 2 weeks. So we'll get to that when we come back from break. Stay tuned.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And, with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Okay, men. This is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. No, you won't. Because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
He in love with glow, never got the cookie but got my name tatted. Killer work, don't know who he killed, I heard that main ready. Never full, when it's time to eat, I be his main platter. NYC, New York Fashion Week, Tommy Hill jacket. Tell these to stay dangerous, cause now one know they safe. My say he faithful, I still got a fruit, just in case. I can't lie, I used to simp so hard, but still my old way. It's 365 days in the year, come play with me on none of them days. Freaking don't even wear no condoms, don't know how to treat a lady.
Welcome back, everybody. It's just past 8:30 here on Monday night on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. Robbie, Lastella, Christian Proscia still aboard with you. Thank you so much to Des Tisdol for hopping on with us for the first half of the show. Great stuff from him. Excited for the future of FAU football heading into next season and beyond. It sounds like the linebacker unit and the defense as a whole is really setting themselves up for success. Christian, any thoughts on that interview?
I thought it was a great interview. I just want to clear the air and let everybody know that Dez is not beating me in Madden or NCAA. Don't let that be fooled. I'm a dog on the controllers. I will take anybody on. However, I thought it was that was my biggest takeaway from the interview, just wanted to say. But I thought that was a great interview. I think, as usual, you and me, we killed it. And also like to give a big shout out to our producer, Steven, because he was killing it on the aux today. We got Lil Uzi and Glorilla tonight. It's a good night.
Yeah, Steven was queuing up the bangers. Good vibes. Lil Uzi on the intro. That was something. But yeah, no, I really like the mindset. Hearing about Wilkie, what is it about Coach Rock? I really think, there's not many coaches out there that will vouch for their guys continuously. Obviously, it's the easy thing to do, right? You recruited this guy at Auburn, we'll bring him to FAU. But I don't feel like it's that common, right? I feel like once coaches leave their past school and move on to a new school with a new recruit market and scheme and whatnot, that the recruits they go after, they tend to be different. But talent, in my opinion, can be talent wherever you go. It's just how you use them. And we see what Coach Rock envisioned for Dez when he recruited him to Auburn came to fruition when he came to FAU with the right scheme, with the right snap count, with the right teammates. It all worked out. So Wilkie could be having a big season coming up if you just look at the fact that when players are put in a position to succeed in Coach Rock's defense, then they'll be able to flourish like we saw last season with Dez. So I'm very excited to see what's in store for this FAU defense. And although Dez swears none of them are getting up for that USF FIU game or the week 1 game against Michigan State. That week 1 game against Michigan State is a chance for FAU to prove a lot of people wrong. Our guy Drew Shula put out today that FAU was 11-point dogs against Michigan State. And I mean, to be fair, it could be worse, right? They could be 3 touchdown dogs like I think they were against Clemson last year. And, FAU was pretty good at that point in the season, I think, going into Clemson. So at least decent. They weren't the season hadn't gone down the tunnel yet there, Christian. But it's an opportunity week 1 for FAU to really make some noise. And the spread shows 11 points. That's not something the odds makers look at as impossible for FAU to come out on top. So hopefully everything clicks. And offense, defense, I don't have any questions about after hearing from Dez. That defense sounds rock solid. But offense, a lot of new guys, a lot of new receivers. Going to be a new quarterback most likely, unless Starks wins that job. Which I'm not putting it past Tyreek to take that job. He looked good in spring ball. We'll see what happens in summer ball and leading up to the regular season. But that week 1 game, it's going to be important for sure. Christian, what you got?
I agree. I think that week 1 is going to be a chance very early on to, like Jordan Clark says all the time, let's ruin somebody's season. Let's immediately kick Michigan State in the teeth. And I mean, that's not a hard thing to do because Michigan State's going to get kicked in the teeth by the Big Ten all year. But let's screw them on a couple non-con games. Let's steal a win there. Let's go in and let's start the year right, and let's go. Please finish above 500. Let's send me and Robbie out to a bowl game, and then actually send all the Bleacher Bros out there. Me, Robbie, Drew, and Toby, the usual suspects. We'll be killing it at the Duke's Mayo Bowl later this year when FAU makes a push. But like you said, I have no questions about this defense. And last year we didn't have good quarterback play. It comes down to that. And I think that this year we finally Tyreek has developed nicely. I think Cam is a lot better than both quarterbacks that left us last year. So I think that we're going to be just fine.
Yeah, the talent is there. Cam's obviously had the high school success and then the success at Marshall. And last year there was a bit of injury, but he's had the success both at high school level and D1 level. So we'll see if he can translate that over to FAU. And USF and FIU. Those are 2 other games that he swears the team's not getting up for. I don't know. A lot of players from South Florida, Christian. I feel like it'll be up. I feel like it'll be they're definitely not going to be acting up, but deep down, like there's that we're about to take over Florida mantra, and we'll see if the score reflects that mantra a little bit, like we saw Coach Herman getting that onside kick against USF last year. So
I'd just like to say that with all of this talk about FAU football and us bringing on consistent guests, I am so ready for this summer to be over. I want to be in East Lansing right now so bad, watching us beat the hell out of Michigan State. Like this summer needs to just go by quick because I'm probably the only person that's willing to say this. I'm ready for school to start up. I am so ready to watch some FAU athletics this year.
Right. I mean, we're going to be busy that week 1, Christian. Palm Beach Central versus West Boca on Thursday, right before we head off to East Lansing. That'll be a good weekend of football. We'll see if I'm out there at that West Boca game. Stay tuned on that. But looking over at the NBA, it's been a minute since we talked about it. Both of our championship round series, Eastern and Western, they're both 3-0. 2 sweeps are dialed up potentially. Boston currently leads Indiana in Game 4, about ahead to the second quarter. Boston up 29-27 over the Pacers. For the Pacers, really, they've been, in my opinion, they've been dead to rights ever since that first game of the series, really, where they had the game, and then they turn the ball over to where that was a complete mistake. And then, all right, the game's not over. You turn the ball over. Boston, obviously, they had to make that 3 from Jaylen Brown to do that. But, man, I just don't know how they don't foul up 3. And they let Jaylen Brown get that shot off, and the rest is history. Celtics go on to win Game 1. But if they number 1 don't turn the ball over there, and number 2 they foul up 3, and the series would be completely different right now. They go in Game 2, they get blown out. It was close. It was close, but it still wasn't really close. And then Game 3. It wasn't enough. I mean, without Tyrese Halliburton, TJ McConnell's is not going to carry him to the victory. He did his best, but Andrew Nembhard, he had to put up 32 points, and still the Pacers almost found a way to win that game. Obviously, I wouldn't want Andrew Nembhard, going up against Drew Holiday in the clutch, but that's all they had. And obviously Drew Holiday is going to pick Andrew Nembhard's pocket and set the Pacers up for now down 3-0, staring at the barrel of the Celtics. So obviously rough draw for the Pacers with Halliburton being out now, but we'll see what happens. We'll talk about Timberwolves. We'll talk about the Timberwolves Mavs series in just a second. But we got this up here on the screen. Some very sad news today out of the basketball world, out of the NCAA world as a whole. Bill Walton passed away today. On the great UCLA teams back in the day, and now, and obviously for me, where my connection was obviously with Bill was as a broadcaster, where he never was too worried about being serious. Right, our profession as journalists, as broadcasters, reporters, it's good to be serious, but there's also a time where you got to let go and just enjoy the moment. I think Bill always did that. Steven, why don't you roll his broadcast? Yep. Yep.
Again. Your name is Dave, right? What's your name again? You're Dave, right? That you, Dave? Where have you been, man? I'm Bill.
Yep,
and we're at Stanford today, and we have got the game of the millennium tonight.
It doesn't get any better than this. I just got laid. Take a bite out of it while it's lit.
While it's lit?
Say, oh, I'm kidding.
How about the face plant here? Today, I have everything.
Oh, I love my chocolates. Oh.
There you go.
7-point lead right
Dust
now.
it off.
Have you kissed your ostrich today? That's what I want to know.
It's National Popcorn Day, please. Party on. It's a wonderful day. It's Oregon. The sun was out. Come on. So I got a shirt for the new football coach.
That's Tom Herman.
Tom Herman, yeah, from Houston, right? He brings me a shirt. Keep Austin weird. We're going to do our best today. Maybe I'll just strip down right here.
Bill is taking his shirt off.
What a man. I mean, people are always so focused about being a capital J journalist. And Bill obviously wasn't a journalist. He was a successful basketball player. But Bill showed how to have fun in a broadcast setting without being too serious, right? We see broadcasters all the time. They get into trouble for criticizing the media or God forbid, they say something stupid. But Bill just never took it too seriously. He had fun with it. I mean, he was wearing polos, getting laid with his lay, with eating the cupcake while there's a lit candle on it. Like, the energy that he brought was good for the world of sports media, where a lot of times everything's serious. You got Stephen A. yelling at the top of his lungs about the Knicks for no reason. Sit back and enjoy what you're doing, and I think Bill did that really well. And rest in peace. We got the next generation of broadcasters has to try to emulate that spirit the best they can. Yeah, the 30 for 30 with Bill Walton, our producer Steven mentioned. It's a great piece on him, and that you'll hear a lot more about his basketball background rather than the NBA or the college basketball announcer side. But that's the side that I grew up with and was able to connect with myself. So rest. And Bill Walton's son is actually an assistant coach. Our producer Steven was able to meet him. So it's so interesting to see the connections that everyone has with Bill Walton. I mean, you see on Twitter today everybody going down with their messages about him and their interactions. And I mean, I saw one where he was doing an interview with some 20-year-old journalist at the time, and his name was Bill, and Bill picked up the phone and he says, "Oh, my name's Bill," and it's just like the type of interactions you have with people, man. So rest in peace, Bill, and hopefully everything is okay with his family. He died of cancer, and it was all of a sudden. Didn't know that was a battle. So. But sticking with the NBA, we talked about the Pacers game. That's in progress at the moment, headed to the second quarter. But the Timberwolves, they lost last night to the Mavs. They are now down 3-0 in that series. And in all of these games, game 1, game 2, game 3, for the Timberwolves, Cat and Anthony Edwards both have just been playing horrible. I mean,
and Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, I mean, game 1, the Timberwolves were in it. They lose by 3, 108-105. Cat was 6 of 20 from the field. Anthony Davis was 6 of 16 from the field. before that game, I mean, Anthony Edwards, did I say Davis? Anthony Edwards was talking how important Jaden McDaniels was to that team, and he was the one who had the best game in game one, put up 24, but it still wasn't enough. And then game two, they lose again. They lose by double figures in that one. Cat 4 of 16 from the field and 5 of 17 from the field. I mean, come on, guys. This is the Western Conference Finals, and you're throwing up duds. Game 3 last night. Cat 5 of 18 from the field, shooting some of the most questionable shots I've ever seen in the late game scenarios. I mean, he's doing like pull up 3-pointers, and I don't even know what was in the game plan. Why was Anthony Edwards off the floor? What was he tired? I mean, Luka Doncic was off the court too, but they were winning. I mean, Luka and Kyrie, they both put up 33 themselves, and they both shot above 50% from the field. And so maybe, the Timberwolves, they have a little bit more depth, but the Mavs have enough depth to get it done, and they have two superstars that are just bullying their way to the finals. I don't necessarily know how the Mavs will match up with the Celtics. I'm a little bit concerned, but we'll see. I'm assuming there's going to be no crazy 3-0 comebacks. But Christian, what do you got on the Timberwolves and Mavs?
Going into this series, I thought that the Timberwolves were going to keep rolling and use their size advantage that they have on the Mavs to their advantage, because I've said this all year. The Mavericks have no help if Luka or Kyrie isn't having a good game. The Mavs are cooked because the other three players on the court are absolutely ass. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're ducks on the court. However, the Timberwolves are matching up with that by all three of their good players being ducks. And Anthony Edwards is, they got KD, but we got Jaden McDaniels. Right now, all you got is Jaden McDaniels. Everybody's talking about, Anthony Edwards is Michael Jordan's illegitimate son. Yeah, maybe when MJ was on the Wizards or when he was on the White Sox. He is not, he's putting up some Space Jam 2 numbers, and by that I'm talking about their movie revenue. He's not putting out actual good basketball right now. Rudy Gobert is the Mickey Mouse Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know what bro's doing. How is Luka Doncic shooting over you? Bro, you are literally, 7'2"? There is not a shot that should ever go above your head. This is probably the only good play from the Wolves from this series. Steven, cue the tape.
With 2 road wins, 9.
He killed that man.
And the funny part is Minnesota's trailing by 6 as he's just pulling up for a tomahawk yam in the middle of the game.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, he pulled a Ja Morant where it's all right. Let me just catch a body really quick. Let me just dunk over somebody. That's like that one. It literally reminds me of that one meme where it's the YouTube thumbnail. Chris Paul clutch 3 cuts Suns deficit to 40. That's all it is.
Why are we throwing tomahawk yams in the third quarter, but we're not shooting the ball with the game on the line? Why is Karl Anthony Towns shoot? I get it. Karl Anthony Towns is a stretch 4. He can play on the outside, but he does not need to be shooting fadeaway contested triples with the game on the line. It just doesn't make sense.
There is no big man that should be shooting fadeaway contested shots. The only one you could argue is Wembanyama because when he's shooting, his arm is already in the rafters, so all it's got to do is just drop. Outside of that, there is no big that should be shooting fadeaways to begin with. That's just my personal opinion. Jokic is the only one that you can maybe argue, and that's just because he can pull the stupidest shot out of his ass and it somehow hits. With Anthony Davis having 2 hands in his face, he's like, okay, I like horses, and it just beer pongs its way in.
And I think the Nuggets honestly would have beaten the Mavs. I don't think the Nuggets would have had any problems with the Mavs. I just think that the Timberwolves don't have. We thought,
you don't have any more juice.
Yeah, when we thought Anthony Edwards would be this superstar who's taken over games, but he's not. He did in the last round. It might be like you said, he just might be out of juice. But the fact is, he's shooting 11 to 24 in game 3, which is abysmal, but he's not shooting. He's shooting abysmally, but he's not shooting when the game's on the line. Shooters shoot. KD, what does he say? Shoot 100% of the shots or something, whatever he says. And
that's Wayne Gretzky, bro.
Whatever,
It's
yeah,
Mike.
whatever. Whoever said it, same thing. But you know what I mean? And it's like he's not shooting with the game on the line. Instead, the death beam on the line, give me Karl Anthony Towns, said nobody ever. Like, that's
Yeah.
what the Timberwolves have going for him right now.
Yeah, and Cat's gonna be crying about it on his podcast like tomorrow. Like as soon as he's like on his way to Cancun, he's gonna be like talking about. He's gonna be going to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like he's just gonna be talking about all the things that like happened wrong because all he does is whine on that show. But like you said, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Ant really just ran out of gas because going into this series, my thoughts, like I said, the Wolves were the better team. The Wolves going in had all the momentum. They looked good. Anthony Edwards was the most dominant player in postseason basketball. And honestly, like his other sport comp right now, in my opinion, I once again can't believe I'm about to say this because I love this dude, is Lamar Jackson. Because he's going through the entire season dominating, doing well against inferior teams in the opening of the postseason. Then you get to the conference championship and you absolutely crap the bucket. Like just all of a sudden you're just not a factor. And like it reminded me of the fact that Lamar Jackson, as much as I love him, Boynton High alum, like love the dude to pieces. Bro hasn't gotten out of the AFC Championship yet.
And I wonder how much is it, coaching is important at this point, and their coach is on the sidelines, but he's not coaching in full capacity. I don't want to make excuses for the Timberwolves. I don't think Chris Finch on the sidelines is going to be making that much of a difference, but maybe it is. I mean, maybe he's calling plays for their best player, Anthony Edwards, in that situation, and not whoever they have coaching right now calling plays for Karl Anthony Towns. Or maybe the team on the court doesn't respect this assistant coach the same way they respect Chris Finch, and so now they're calling their own plays. I don't know. I don't cover the Timberwolves, but it just looks like a discombobulated mess out there. And I really am wondering, what was it? Did they run out of gas, or do they not have that it factor to push them through in all the stakes are the highest type series? Because the past two, the stakes were high, but this is where it matters the most. And the Timberwolves had lost in those first couple of rounds before, and they haven't been to it. It's like we talked about with Coach Clark and FAU softball. They hadn't been in a situation like that when they got to the regionals, and maybe the situation just became a little bit too much for FAU softball at regionals, and also the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. Maybe the situation, the lights are just too bright for the Timberwolves.
Well, here's the thing, like you said, if somebody else is drawing up plays that isn't like, whether it's an interim head coach or somebody's going on liberty and just they're just doing their own stuff. Robbie had a little malfunction out there, dropped his little Stanley Cup. But whatever you're doing isn't working. So if it's the players running the game, give it back to your coach. If it's the coach, let's have somebody else draw up plays. Like hit up John Jacobs. He's a pretty good interim head coach for when a coach is just out. So give him a ring. Don't take him for full time, but show Coach Jacobs some love. But other than that, like whatever y'all are doing isn't working. Like y'all are about to go home sorry tomorrow. You guys literally might get swept. And like same thing with the Pacers. Like the Pacers, it was just they ran out of juice because honestly, I don't think anybody expected them to make it out of the first round. Because especially when like Halliburton isn't doing anything early on, everybody thought, oh, whoever they played in the first round in 5, I don't even remember because of like a damn month ago. Like so much other stuff has happened, and I haven't really been following playoff basketball outside of me watching the tonight's game through the mirror as I'm on the phone. But like it's just too little, too late at this point. Enjoy your trip to Galveston and get ready to reload for next year. Same with the Heat. Can y'all please do something?
Pacers currently up 1 on Boston right now. Tie game, 42-42. 7 minutes 25 seconds to go in that second quarter. That's all the NBA coverage we'll get to here tonight. But make sure to tune in on the Bleacher Brothers website for up-to-date scores on the NBA. But something I want to touch on before we get out of here, Christian. The team we talked about last week, Birmingham Southern baby. They won. They won their super regional over a school that you got recruited to in swimming, Denison. They were the number 2 overall seed in Division III baseball. Birmingham Southern beat them. And this is a crazy story from so many angles, right? For starters, Birmingham Southern, yeah, they're closing on May 31st, but the team almost was disbanded entirely in 2010. They were scheduled to be shut down at the end of their season. They went all the way to the College World Series that year, and then they fundraised enough to keep the program alive for 14 more years until the school as a whole shut down. But in that game, in that final game against Denison the night before, apparently the team got chicken Alfredo delivered to the team hotel, and whoever ate that chicken Alfredo, it ended up being 9 total players, including a majority of the bullpen, ended up with food poisoning.
MJ flu game.
Yeah, man. And so apparently most of the bullpen had to deal with the effects of food poisoning. They had one guy in the hospital, Jacob Fields, who's a reliever. When he came out to pitch, he was getting an IV before the game, and he had the little bandage on his arm from the IV. They were just rocking and rolling, man, rolling with the punches. And they ended up using 3 pitchers. Their starter went, I think, 7 1/3, or maybe 6 1/3. And then they had one guy come in. He almost got all the way through, got into the 9th inning, then he just ran out of gas. He was dealing with food poisoning. Their closer came in. They gave up 2 runs, but they won that game 7-6. They're going to the College World Series. Their first game will be on May 31st, the day that their school closes. Shout out small school baseball, small school athletics, Missouri Valley Conference. My hat's over there. I'm a fan of them all.
Bro, that's insane. Like, nothing can go right for this team. I feel so bad because, like, how do you have bad chicken Alfredo? Like, come on, you have to be like a stupid chef because, like, even I know how to cook chicken.
Yeah,
Like, even I know how to do it. Like,
maybe it was like the eggs or something. I don't even know.
bro, like I said, it's just MJ flu game. Like, what the hell? Because, like, at this point, it is 2024. How do you not know how to cook a chicken breast? Like, once again, even I can do that, and the extent of my culinary expertise is bagel bites. Like, that's the best you're getting out of me. That and the Pop-Tarts. Like the Pop-Tart bowl mascot. That's the best I can do.
I don't know. My friend cooked a seafood boil the other night, and that was a mess. Like cooking like outside of the normal foods is one thing, but if you mess up chicken Alfredo, like you said, I got to start to wonder if Denison University was plotting against Birmingham Southern in some movie type storyline here, some Blue Mountain State-esque food poisoning.
Blue Mountain State is crazy. Thad Castle is out there cooking up the worst chicken Alfredo known to man.
That is the best college football show.
That is the best sports show. I will take Blue Mountain State over All American any day.
Yeah, what was the other? I'm forgetting the name of the one that was on way back when.
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, I was gonna say Under the Lights. That I watched that a lot as a kid. I was just forgetting the name. That was a good one. Yeah, I kind of Friday Night Lights was more like the drama. Like it was like it could be on Lifetime, but it was good. It was like there was so much going on that it made it good.
Yeah, there's so many Blue Mountain State clips that are not allowed to be shared on the air that I like literally can't even quote, that are just playing through my head right now, and I'm just trying not to laugh because Alan Rickman did such a good job as Thad Castle. He is so funny. Just randomly screaming like
Oil changes on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network, Christian? Maybe? Nah.
No.
Hey, that's all we've got time for here tonight on the Lastella Report, Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. No oil changes here tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. We got our South Florida Spotlight. Christian will have more on that on social media. High school athlete up and coming in the area. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much, Des Tisdol, for hopping on with us. We'll be back again tomorrow night. Until then, I'm Robbie Lastella. That's Christian Proscia. Thanks for tuning in.
Go Owls.